Welcome to my channel. Today we want to talk about something deeply human. We're looking at when someone is coming from a traumatic experience or is recovering from substance use. What do they need? What does such a person need? Is it stigmatization or is it condemnation? Is it some series of various forms of judgment? No. What such a soul, what such an individual needs is empathy, is compassion, is genuine care. So let us consider, which of you at this age you are in never had a scar, never hit our foot against a stone, never stumbled, never had a mishap or a misjudgment. These are parts of life. Like we learn in psychology and philosophy and social psychology, mistakes are inevitable. So what you just need to do is to see what can you do to reduce the mistake to the barest minimum. One axiom states that in the best of all circumstances and situations, accidents still happen. So I come to you as a counselor that when you see somebody coming out from a traumatic experience or battling with a dilemmatic situation of life, please let us show empathy, more of empathy. Like that Chinese proverb states, do not blame or judge a man unless and until you have walked a mile in his moccasins, that is in his shoes. We as humans, we are very quick to pass judgment. We are very quick to condemn. We are very quick to castigate. And you may say, I could never do that. That's because you are never in that shoe. Could you have done better? Only thank God for the grace that you have. So as a counselor, I've seen where a good word has helped someone to overcome the previous challenges and start a new, very brand new way of life and living to achieve a better tomorrow. And in a similar manner, I've seen where judgmental statements, condemnatory statements, stigmatization have led people through the path that is so dark that it's been very difficult to bring them out of it. Even the weight of the judgment and the stigma is even more than what they went through the initial trauma or the substance use challenge. So come along with me as we learn and reflect together. This is Nisinga Reflection. If you are new to this channel, please subscribe. We educate, we help, we guide with counseling principles, with social psychology principles to help every one of us to navigate this journey of life. Tales that touch the heart is what we work hard to make sure at the end of the day, it's not in never falling, but it's encouraging one another to rise up and shake off the dust and continue to trudge on for a better tomorrow. Come along with me. When an individual is coming from a rehabilitation, from a recovery, from past challenges and errors, the society, the community, even some relations, what they do is rejection, castigation, stigmatizing, that's labeling, ostracizing, and that makes the journey. And you should know that somebody coming from a dilemmatic situation or substance use, they are walking on a very fragile path, so thin that the equilibrium can easily be shifted positively or negatively depending on the prevailing circumstances in their environment. That is why when they meet with empathy, when they meet with understanding, when they meet with compassion, the journey becomes easier. Especially this issue of heartbreak. When somebody is let down, you can see that they say, if it's a man, they say, for the next couple of months, he never even want to talk to any girl or any lady again, never want to associate with anyone again because of the fragility of the brokenness and the heart pain, that trauma. And if it's a lady, never wants to forget say just anything about man or relationship, they just. So imagine, so when somebody is recovering from that, what they need is help, what they need is understanding, not judgment. You know, why could you have done that? You should not have. Why did you do that in the first place? Now, why is stigmatization very dangerous? We shall have a video on stigmatization in itself. Stigma doesn't heal, it wounds. Stigma simply means labeling somebody with such derogatory statements, attitudes that you tend to alienate the person from a normal society, normal relationship, normal human interactions. Labeling, that is like that, she is like that, he is like that, he is like that, all those things. That's stigmatization. What's called name calling, negative name calling. Stigma doesn't heal, it wounds, it destroys, and it's only good for you that does it. But for the person that you are stigmatizing, is very destructive because there's nobody that cannot change for the better. That's why we are humans. So when we label or condemn a recovery person, recovery in this statement means somebody recovering either from a dilemma situation, from a relationship breakdown, from some other traumatic experiences, or from substance use recovery. We reinforce shame, isolation. We exaggerate the errors and the mistakes. The person that has suffered these things has already suffered, they're already going through some pain. We normally say is adding insult into an injury. The person has already lost something, and you are now making a mockery of that situation. That's what it implies. So let us avoid stigmatization with all deliberate efforts we can muster. We don't want to trigger a relapse. You don't want somebody to be at the other negative dark end and now be beating and say sorry. Why could you have done something better to help? So we are supposed to help one another to recover from any challenging situation. So instead of feeling supported, the stigmatized individual feel judged, feel crucified, feel ostracized. So many retreat back into the old black cloud, into the old habits, and just give up. And no one is supposed to be encouraged to give up. We're supposed to encourage rebounding. So what such a person needs, as we said earlier, is support, is care, is deep understanding of their situation and predicament. Even if you don't understand it, just pray as if you understand. Okay, okay, okay. Then let's see how we can get you out of this situation. As long as there is life, there is hope, there is a better chance of a better tomorrow. Come on, get up. Don't give up. Now, you are much better than this. You can overcome this. That's what we're supposed to do. So, research in counseling and psychology and social psychology shows that social support and acceptance are very key predictors to long-term recovery process and surviving traumatic situation. That means we need to treat matters better than we think. What Now we may ask, are we expected to do for the recovery person? What do they actually need? Very good question. That is the path you and I have to follow. So, what they need, as I've been stated earlier, is empathy, and that is the ability to feel with them, not for them. So imagine if you're in such a person's shoe that have gone through such a loss or through such a traumatic experience, how is it, and what do you expect from people around you that you care about and claim to care about you? They need compassion, and that is you see their pain for what it is without turning away as if you are not concerned. That is when to show that concern through fellowship, through care. They need genuine care, and that is being consistent with your accepting them, with your seeing what you can do to help to get out of that predicament. You show patience with them because they are the ones in pain, or he or she is the one in pain, and you show non-judgmental support. So no matter what decision, like we say doing counseling, you reach take rules. You say, well, there's nothing, like the Bible says, there's nothing new under the sun. They say in Yoruba, kí ló ṣe ẹ́ tí ò ṣe ẹnìkan rí? That was it that happened, that has not happened to anybody before. There's nothing new under the sun. Various experiences may, because somebody has gone through there. What happened to you now? What you did, somebody did it before and they survived it. Like the Bible says, we are not of them that draw back unto perdition. We are them that believe to the saving of the soul. So you don't look at the example of those that die and suffer and perish with the predicament. But look at those that survive it, and their story has become better and sweeter, and they have become models and mentors to many others. That's what Jesus did for Peter. Peter, one of the apostles of Jesus, very, very vibrant, very energetic, very faithful, very loyal. He told Jesus, I can never leave you. Jesus said, Peter, Satan decided to sift you, but when you are converted, when you survive it, strengthen your brethren. And what happened? At the last minute, Peter denied that he never knew Jesus. He even, I think he swore, saying no. But he survived it. And he became a very vibrant example of the apostle that encouraged. He became a very good encourager because he has passed through that channel before. So let us be good encouragers. That's what they need. Empathy says, I see your struggle and I choose to walk beside you. I choose to walk with you. Okay? And compassion says, you are more than your past mistakes. You can do better, you can achieve better, and tomorrow will be better. And care says, you still matter. Your life is precious. So when family members and friends and the community offer this kind of atmosphere to the recovery person, healing happens faster. Whether it's relationship healing, whether it's physiological healing from substance use, whether it's psychological healing from a form of abuse or the other. These are the things they need. These are the things they need. So the relapse risk is dropped to the barest minimum and self-worth grows. So the recovery individual begins to believe in him or herself that I can be whole again. This is why many people that are being physically abused do not say it out because of the stigma of the society. They have gone through pain already, they have been physically abused. Like the one ruling on in Nigeria now. She has been abused one way or the other, but thank God for the help that rose up for her. That is what we are expected to do in this situation. Show compassion, show true empathy, and show genuine care. As counselors, we are called to model empathy. When we are discussing with the client, you don't pass judgment at all under any circumstance. You show understanding because we know we are all humans. We are all humans. Like the Bible says, it said the heart is deceitful above all things and desperately you can know it. You can know it. And we see so many things happening in the social media. How people backstab and say, oh, why did you fall for such a thing? It happens. They say life happens. So we tend to create spaces for people to talk freely about their challenges, about their experiences. And we try, without being labeled, they talk freely. And we try to guide them, showing them the pluses and minuses and the road to follow so that they make the final decision. We are encouragers. That's what I call it, guided counseling. So, but it isn't just the counselor's job, it's a community's job because the time the client will have the counselor is limited. The client is still going back to the family, is still going back to a home, is still going back to a society. That is why this video is very important for you and I. We need to work to build together. Okay? Like Michael Jackson, let's work to make this world a better place for you and for me and from everybody from every race. Yellow, black, and white, and red. So every parent, every teacher, every pastor, and friends can become part of somebody's healing process. And that is why, please don't judge, try and endeavor to understand more. Now, this segment is to the recovering person. Are you going through your recovery process from some of those things I mentioned earlier? From substance use, from relationship heartbreak, from societal physical abuse, from psychological abuse, from parental abuse, or whichever you may be recovering from. This also is for you. Right now, know that your past doesn't define you. What happened to those define you are much better than that, and your tomorrow is better as the Lord lives. Healing is possible. Healing is practicable, healing is achievable, and you'll be healed. That's what this message is telling you. You deserve kindness. No matter what anybody else may be saying around you, you deserve kindness. Remember the story of that woman caught with adultery. The holier than thou people, Israel came around and said, Lord, this woman has been caught red and dead in adultery. And the Lord says she should be stoned. So what do you say? He said, well, if any of you had never committed any sin before in your life up till now, take the first stone and throw it. And they knew. If they had deceived themselves and throw the stone, they know the repercussion will be irreparable for them. Like that statement said, to yourself be true. So some of us are quick to judge as if we are perfect, but there is no perfect human being on this earth. Everybody has something to cry about. You may not cry about it outside, but you know within you, you are not perfect. Everybody has some form of weaknesses and some trend. That's why you talk about the SWOT analysis in management. And management doesn't mean management of business, management of life. You take your strengths and your weaknesses, your traits and your strong points, and the opportunities available to you. So everybody has opportunity to make tomorrow better than yesterday, and that's why we have today. That just say enough for today is evil. There already there is some good, there is some evil. But what happened yesterday has happened yesterday. So believe and know that you still have a better chance. You deserve to be respected in spite of what has happened before. Okay? The woman that helped the children of Israel when they were going to Jericho was a harlot, Rahab. She had a second chance for life, so she was not condemned. So why must you and I make ourselves condemners? Don't give people chances to make sure you have you deserve support. And even when others don't understand, they refuse to understand. Never forget, have faith in yourself. Encourage yourself, like they say David encouraged himself in the Lord. Encourage yourself that as long as the Lord lives, as long as the Lord lives, I will overcome this. I will get over this. Your journey in this life is what continues as long as God has given the life and the breath and the opportunity. Endeavor to make the best of it. Remember, this is Nisimuga Reflection. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe to the channel so that we share some counseling thoughts together. And if you have some questions, please put in the comment section. And if this video has been of help to you and you know someone that needs to hear this, please share with them. Okay, this is a counseling session. We teach and educate and enlighten how to make tomorrow better than yesterday and how to make the best of today. Okay.